Okay, welcome everybody to the welcome to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer and a podcast engineer here. Excited to bring you another episode of the Blue Collar Crypto Show with Tim Trojan. I do here every Sunday at 4 and 5:30 p.m. Central. So it's kind of about like blue collar tips and so on for blue collar workers. But to kick us off, we do have a guest today, but to pass over to Tim to kick us off today. So welcome, Tim.
Hi, Emily. Thank you for producing the show every week on Sundays at 4 and 6 and 5 and 7 Eastern, 5 and 7 Eastern, and 4 and 6 Central Time, PM. And then our guest today is Neil Weber. We've been doing this show for about 3 years. There's a couple subjects. I'd like some help here with our guest, and we'll be running about, I don't know, I was explaining to our guest, the show doesn't take very long. I'm going to introduce him, Neil Weber. He's from Wisconsin. Neil, would you like to say something about yourself?
Yes, I'm Neil Weber. My background includes 6 years of professional sales experience in both primarily inside sales, and also I reached a level of $200,000 worth of sales in 2 different industries, selling 2 different products. And I'm currently a clerk at a grocery store, but my aspiration is for more. My aspiration is to return to sales and be a higher income producer than I was in the past.
Okay, here is where I ask questions, because we have a guest this week. I'm honored that he took time out of his schedule. Obviously, if he's working a blue collar job, a clerk, and on the side that he's selling, he's taking some time out on a Sunday. It sounds like it might be his free day. What would you like to say about that, Neil?
Well, currently I'm not in sales. I'm going to transition back into sales this week. I'm going back to sell fitness equipment with a friend to schools. So I'll be doing that during this week. I'll also pick up a side hustle, working for my sister, working for clients in trimming lawns and doing that kind of work. I'm just going to try to find anything that'll generate income. My new goal is just to make money no matter how I have to do
it. There is something that Neil has touched on. I think Kurt Roskoff mentioned too, multiple streams of income. It's been around for decades. It's a thought that you could have a side gig, right? That's a short version of multiple streams of income, but that you have several different ways of making money that makes the household income work more efficiently. There is a book called Multiple Streams of Income, and usually I have the name of the author on top of my mind, but there is something I'd like to focus on in this show, but since we have a guest here, if he has some things to say, maybe I could ask him a couple questions. How did you get involved in sales? What was your motivation?
Well, out of necessity. I had a family at the time, and I had been training. I had been training to be a teacher. We got married before I finished my training, so we got married. I had a commitment then to my family, and unfortunately, I didn't succeed in the educational process. So my first job was what? Selling children's books. It was such a nice segue from wanting to be a teacher to children's books. And that was a nice segue that I found.
Oh, okay, that's wonderful. What I really like to do with this show is, and to focus on this, is to say that the show is here to encourage. And today we have a wonderful example. We have a person explaining what their actual their journey was, the part of their journey in getting a side hustle, side gig, multiple streams of income, how we went about it. I don't want to overstate that. It's very important. I like to repeat on this show. We're here in support of people that are looking to change their life or to make it better, to take what they do for a living and make that more interesting, to increase their income, maybe pass it down to their children, start a business, right? A legacy that they can pass down to their children, to take your life and be in more control of what you do, your hours, working for the man, and now you're the boss. You become your own boss. So it's not just things that people say you hear on TV or the radio or podcasts. It's work from home. It's being your own boss. It's work at home. It's online work. That's what the show is about. I'm gonna touch on this because our guest on the last show asked what would be a great side hustle. So I did come up with something. I'm going to explain what's going on in the life insurance industry. So before the pandemic, it was typically a life insurance agent would have a meeting with somebody in an office or at a home. He'd go to somebody's home and explain policies. So what's happened with the pandemic, COVID, is the technology has really, let's just say Zoom, right? A lot of life insurance, 90-some%, all life insurance policies are sold on Zoom today. So the efficiency of that means you don't have to spend a half a day with a client for one policy. You can spend 15 minutes to a half an hour and sell a life insurance policy on Zoom. The money is faster. If I could just cut to the chase here, it's much faster to sell it on video on a Zoom than it is to sell it in somebody's living room. So that's the focus of this show. That's the answer to Neil's question. What can I do for a side gig? Because you're always looking for something. You want to make more money, so you want more streams of income, different kinds of jobs. And of course, we're doing it for our family. So we don't need motivation, but we do need ideas, and that's why we have this show. But the focus this week is on Zoom, on selling life insurance on Zoom platform. If you don't know what that is, it's a video platform where your customer calls in. You're calling your customer. You set an appointment and you sell life insurance on a video platform. So it's very lucrative. It's going to create hundreds and thousands and millions of millionaires. The Zoom platform and life insurance as a connected. So I want to give Neil a chance to say something here before we end the show. Would you like to add or introduce?
Yeah. So what are you asking? I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering if you had something. If you thought about this life insurance, maybe this business.
Yes, I have. Being an inside salesperson, I have a strong interest in life insurance because it's intangible. And I really believe in selling intangibles because they're the most challenging things to sell. It's easy, in my estimation, it's easy to sell a product, okay? I have this dishwasher. And the dishwasher, here's the features, here's the benefits. And this is what I do. I sell features and benefits. When you have an intangible, your challenge is selling something that you can't necessarily see or you can't see. So it's a harder challenge to sell than it is to sell a physical product. And I think, therefore, there's more money in it because of that.
Well, if I might add to that, life insurance is pretty cut and dry. There's several variations. There is a thing called annuities, and along with that, a lot of life insurance salesmen sell health insurance at the same time. So there's a lot of streams of income inside that bubble. The state where I'm at in Wisconsin requires you to get a license, every state. But if you get a license in one state, you can transfer that license to another state without taking an additional test. You just have to get the licenses. So if you can pass the test, you can learn a couple products you can sell. The kind of selling that Neil is talking about, it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. It's the everyday man that we're talking about here that can make a fortune doing it. So that's what this show is about. I try and keep it short and sweet. I love the fact that Neil is here. I like the fact that Neil is here because he helps me make this relatable. And I'll close the show. Neil, you want to help me close the show?
Yes, that's fine. How can I help you?
That's it. We'd say a prayer, but not everybody is religious here. So let's just close the show. Thank you very much for your participation, Neil, and the viewership. And hope to see you again, Neil. And keep talking about. I promise and I guarantee every show will have new ways to make money. Thank you very much, and see you. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I plan to talk to you next Sunday. I plan to talk to you then.
Wonderful. And to everybody, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
To thank Tim for that information and conversation. And again, we are here every Sunday at 4 and 5:30 p.m. Central. And we'd love everybody to check out our social media, as well as our organizations we're working with, such as our Transforming Media is joining the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton of the PAC Channel, Ernst Wingate Studios, our Williams of the PAC of the Midwest Plainsman Podcast, and I've always loved to have everybody as a guest, so let us know if you'd like to be a guest on this show or any of the other shows. And until next week, hope everybody has a safe and productive week, and to